Hello, shallow friends, and welcome back to another episode of your favorite podcast and mine, The Shallow End. On today's episode, we're going to take a journey together down what some describe as a very topical topic, ranging from sidewalks to bars to even a case of the sniffles. So that said, sit back, relax, maybe pour yourself another glass of wine, and enjoy episode 8 of The Shallow End, Social Contracts.
Okay, let's start.
Let's start.
It's been a while since I
has.
saw you. How are you doing?
Oh, saw me? I thought you meant did this.
I mean, well, I also did this.
How am I doing?
Yeah, how are you doing?
So good.
Yeah. It's not believable.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll get into it.
We'll get into it. Our topic is very topical.
Topic is topical. That's
This
very
week.
good.
Thanks.
So, happy day, shallow friends.
Happy day.
This is episode 8.
Guys, we made it.
Well, we haven't made it yet. I do think that I think we're up to 17 people listening.
Actually, I just checked our listens from last episode and it was 23. So
Oh, wow. We just
we're killing it.
blew through that glass ceiling.
Through the roof, yeah.
Well, in any case, we're not doing it for them. We're doing it for
For us. That's so true.
Although we have some very special friends out there that have been
Oh my gosh.
giving us so much love.
You know how last episode I promised people that if they followed our Instagram, I would give them a Shallow Friends shout out?
Yes, do it.
Okay. Well, a couple of them I know because you're one of them. You actually finally followed our Instagram.
So I finally get a shout out?
Yeah, shout out to Dad. Thank you for following our Instagram.
I didn't know what Instagram was until you finally told me to follow.
That's a yikes, my dude. You're in digital marketing. You should know what Instagram is.
I have people who know what Instagram
Okay.
is. 51 years old. I don't need to know Instagram.
Okay, so Dad, you get a shout out.
Okay. This is where I'm going to put my pin right here.
Nick gets a shout out. He finally
Oh!
followed our Instagram.
Your tattoo artist, Nick?
Nope, not
No.
my tattoo artist, Nick.
Which Nick?
My best friend, Nicholas Ireland. Just kidding. He's not my best friend. He's Chase's best friend.
Oh, okay. This
Yeah.
is a different
But
Nick.
we're very similar, almost the same person. We've talked about this.
Yes.
Also, Miles, one of Maggie's friends, followed our
Oh.
Instagram. Thank you, Miles. I met Miles this week, actually, because Maggie and I just showed up at his house. Because he lives in Lansing.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, we just showed up. He has a dove. He does.
Those are
He-
just pigeons, guys.
It was a dove. It was fully gray, and she was really upset. Fully white. Sorry. Grayish white. I
Okay,
don't know.
so I've got to already just
Mm.
call this out. This thing that's going on over
Oh,
here is
We have a live audience
the
today.
Maggie is right here.
We have a live
So-
audience. We have a live audience. Maggie's here and producer Chase is also here. So say hi, guys. Hi. Okay, cool. And the
You'll
last
hear-
shout out actually
Oh,
is to somebody that I don't know.
oh,
This is a full stranger. Her name is Dr. Kathleen.
that's Kathleen.
Oh my God, it's Kathleen!
That's the one I was talking about tonight.
Hi, Kathleen.
Kathleen.
You get a double shout out.
And she did want a double shout out.
You
She made it
do.
very clear tonight she wanted a double shout out.
You get a double shout out for both telling my dad you wanted one and following the Instagram. Thank you so much, Kathleen.
And also telling me just straight up, your daughter is really smart.
Thanks,
and
Kathleen.
she also said you have the most beautiful smile.
Thanks, Kathleen.
And
You're smart too.
she-
You have a beautiful smile too. Thank you.
And okay, let's not. You don't need to do all this. She said that basically you're the smart one, and I just have a really
I'm
good sense of humor.
The smart one and the hot one and the funny one and the interesting one, and you're here.
I'm just the old dumb foil.
Yeah, you're my foil.
So here we are.
So here we are. We have actually
Okay, so we have to.
we've
okay.
broken into the wine already.
We have broken into maybe a little bit.
We're broken into a lot of wine.
We have to thank Paulie for his continued sponsorship of the pod. Pauly on wine. Go figure it out, people. Like, this is a guy who's going to make you enjoy wine more than you ever knew you could. But tonight, we get to thank producer Chase for this lovely Barolo, which is, as Pauly would say, she's just opening up.
She is just opening up, but the more she opens up, the more I love her.
Delicious.
She's really
You
beautiful.
could tell it was going to be lovely right off the bat when we opened it. And now that it's got a little bit of time on it, it's starting to taste delicioso.
I'm liking it more with every sip, which is good because I really didn't like it at first.
I can't say that. He's right here. Jeez. All right.
That's really funny.
All right. What? What did you say?
He said it's like me. I really didn't like it at first.
All right.
But the more it's opening up.
Keep that for private time.
Okay.
No one gets the joke. Let's not talk about it.
Sorry.
So thank you to everybody who has followed the Instagram, sent us notes.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of cool.
It's fun because we don't have a ton of people listening, but that's because the people listening are quality.
Yes.
You know?
Oh, there you go.
I
smart.
really believe that,
smart
though.
Of you
because
to say.
Thank you. And funny and yeah.
But if you ever wanted to go ahead and share
oh my gosh, please.
This podcast with other people who are just as smart and funny and
hot.
And I don't know. I can't do that part.
I can't. And hot.
We would appreciate any.
Yeah, share it with them. Be like, this is my new favorite podcast. Rebecca and Scott, they're my new favorite people, but especially Rebecca.
At this point, remember when we did the remote podcast in Chicago?
Yeah.
When we were scouting that location
for our tour.
At this point.
Well, we can't.
The front row would be full.
We can't have that anymore because Taylor Swift did snatch it up for her second year's tour. I know, right. I forgot to tell you, but
dang it.
I know.
Well,
we'll have to move it to New York. Oh no.
All right. Any new people who are listening, the front row is full. Second row, fully available.
Wide open.
Yeah. So just sign up, join in. The shallow end has plenty of room. It's a waiting pool right now.
The doors are open, but one day they will close. So get in while the getting's good.
Wow. Why you gotta threaten people?
So that they want it more.
Okay.
It works.
And thanks to Chase for making these episodes actually work.
Last episode happened, and the episode before happened, and this one happened.
And hopefully making this one happen.
We would be lost without him, truly.
So now we have to do an apology before we get into it.
Oh no, what do we do?
We have to do an apology because one of our super shallow friends, our fan club in North Carolina.
Yeah.
When we did the book club, we got a request to share the list of all the books that we were talking about.
Yeah.
And
neither of us answered.
We didn't really do that. So
bad son, bad granddaughter.
I know.
Sorry.
But I feel like we could probably just put that out on the Instagram.
Oh, I'll put it on the Instagram.
And just share
Shallow
all
and
the
Book
books.
Club #1 list of books mentioned.
Yeah.
That means I have to re-listen to the episode. Which I can't wait to do.
I feel like you might have some opportunities in the near future to do that. But let's not jump to the end.
Yeah, that's a little teaser, which we love to do.
Okay. So also, I just want to go ahead and work through a little bit of show notes ahead of time.
Good Lord. Okay.
It seems to me that the last few episodes, we've gotten kind of into a little rut.
Okay.
And it's been I have the speaking stick, and then you have the speaking stick.
I agree.
Tell me what you think, and I'll tell you what I...
We're too wrapped up. First of all, I think it's harder to do this when we're remote, which has been true.
And also, last time the audio sucked for me.
Yeah, you couldn't hear me.
It was bad. So,
But I also think we're getting too wrapped up in this idea of we're doing this for the podcast rather than
just
we're
talking.
also recording our conversation.
Right,
you know?
right. That's so like instead of I'm gonna have a list like
Yeah,
the books and the conspiracy theories and it's like we don't need lists. Let's just talk about it.
That's
and maybe we have some notes that we're gonna talk about.
That's why I didn't prepare today.
Oh, is that why you didn't prepare today?
I knew you were gonna say this because I'm the smarter one. So.
Oh my god.
Thanks, Kathleen. I'm gonna use that one now.
How am I being ganged up on by two women, one of whom isn't even present?
It's because Kathleen and I know what's up.
Okay.
We're like this.
Okay, you can stop shouting her out now.
Sorry.
Jeez.
Okay. Well.
No, you don't get to look at my notes.
Just because I didn't prepare?
Yeah.
Okay, keep going then.
I think there's a fundamental, just to lean into Kathleen's perspective, a fundamental thing about recording this podcast. We all need to understand when we do this, at the end of it, I don't remember anything I said.
No. Yeah, same.
So we'll see what happens, but in like Maggie, you said after the what are you doing?
I'm checking how long we've been recording.
Conspiracy theory thing. That there was a line that was so memorable to you, and I was like,
gosh.
Did I say that?
That was crazy.
I did a full Steve Urkel on it.
She and her friends used this line that you said in the conspiracy theory episodes. Do you remember what it was?
It was something about double backflips with a twist, landing on a flat earth.
Which is amazing. Did a backflip through a hoop and landed on a flat earth.
Yeah, that's it. Through a hoop. Yeah.
And that was just off the cuff.
Yeah, well, yeah. So anyway.
So we got to get back to that.
And that's where like the last thing I just want to just wing it instead.
Yeah, let's wing it. I mean, I came here ready to wing it.
You were intending to wing.
She was winging it to be wung.
I wanted to see the rest of my notes.
Maggie, you're ruining it. Sorry, I take that back.
Never say that to me.
I'm so sorry. I love you. We have the same blood.
I hate you and I'm never.
We have the same blood.
I'm not giving you my blood and you can't have my kidney.
Maggie blood typed herself today to find out what blood type she has, and it's the same as mine. We have the same blood. And Chase has the same blood too. We all have the same blood.
Except for this.
Strange things. Strange things are afoot.
Let's dive in to the shallow end of our topic.
Donk.
What's our topic?
What is our topic?
No, what's our topic?
Okay, so the original thing that you wanted to talk about is a specific form of a social contract. And I think that we need to ease into social contracts so that we can wind up where you're talking about, because you have
and where my brain is currently.
Yeah. So social contracts, like just the idea of like, this is how we all get along.
Yeah. So like when we were talking about this topic and how expansive we wanted it to be for us, you mentioned like a handshake. Somebody walks up to you and holds out their hand. It's like a mini contract that you know what they're doing and they expect you to shake their hand.
Yeah, that's easy.
That's a mini one. Another one.
Tougher one for me is when they do this, and I'm like, oh, now I miss.
Well, here's something very interesting. My tattoo artist, Other Nick, every time I walk into his shop, he goes to dap me up.
What is that?
Good question, right? What is that?
I'm leaning away already.
He walks at me like this.
With
his hand in the air. Like it could be going in for a hug. It could be going in for a high five. It could be going in for like a half hug, bro hug. I never know. One time he grabbed my arm and tried to sweep my legs. He's learning jujitsu.
Bro, we ain't rolling right now.
Yeah, so that's
and
one of
also
those
my hips.
I walk into that shop like sweating every time. Like,
well,
what's he gonna do this time?
Sounds like you should walk into that shop with a taser.
I'm scared because I know that he expects something from me that I don't know how to fulfill.
Yeah.
He's
which
written the contract.
Okay, well,
and I'm like,
that contract exists in his head. Are you sure that he isn't just
a psycho?
a chaos agent?
Oh, he is.
Okay, so there's no social contract there.
Okay.
It's just he's fucking around, and good for him.
Good for him. King. Yeah.
But that expectation and that anxiety that you feel when you walk in and you're like, I don't know what we're about to do.
Respond to you right now.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Oh, hi.
Yeah. He's gonna come in and crack it again.
Yeah, do it. He's going to get his beer.
I think he had a Pepsi. But
No, he had a Pepsi. I think he's going to
it's
get
beer
a beer.
time. It's beer time.
The social contract of
Grip it and rip it.
Yeah.
Colby, come grip it and rip it for the pod.
Do it.
This is recording.
Ready?
Hell yeah.
So satisfying.
Nice.
By the way, one of the podcasts that we talked about in episode 0 probably that he recommended, Apocrypals, referenced. I finally caught up with an episode where they referenced my brother and me.
Oh my gosh.
hilarious.
It's like an Ouroboros podcast.
It was wild. Yeah, it was a biblical reference, and they turned it into like my brother and me. And it was Joseph and all of his brothers.
And all of his amazing brothers.
Yes.
Wow.
And also, apparently, his fancy coat was really just a robe with long
Wow.
sleeves.
What a letdown.
Yeah.
I
It's
thought
all
it
about
was-
the translation, kids.
What's the musical? They just made up the Amazing Technicolor
No,
Dreamcoat?
it's just about wild translations of
Oh.
the Bible that over the years have gotten more weird and maybe leaned into needing things to be special.
Frills.
Yeah.
I see. All right.
I don't know.
Well, we're not talking about religion.
No, we're not talking about that right
If you
now.
want to listen to that,
I don't want to
we
talk
have
about
one
birds.
those. I don't want to talk about birds either. Move on, dude.
So I think that the idea of social contracts we've touched on a couple times in various discussions, episodes.
You think so?
I think growing up was a discussion of social contracts,
Oh,
Like-
okay. Well,
for-
that's an interesting one
in a sense.
because is it the contract between parent and child?
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
that the parent will provide, but the child is
Up
expected
to a certain point.
one day
And then-
not need to be
And
provided
then
for.
get the fuck out.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say though that one's interesting because the child isn't agreeing. You know,
Only because the parent makes
the
it
parent-
too easy.
creates a person and then is like, and now by your creation you've entered a contract with me. And it's like, well, I didn't have any say in this. You planned to have me.
That's true.
And I was just born into a
There's definitely not two people agreeing.
hey guys. We're recording. Cool.
I wish that was on camera.
My goodness. Yeah, no, but I think that's true. It's like or sometimes spoken, but mostly I would say social contracts are unspoken agreements. Like,
Yes. Yeah.
but people get upset with each other when they think that the other person's end of the contract is not being upheld.
Right. So I want to talk about one particular example of that
Okay.
that got me all fired up
Oh, Dad's pissed.
last weekend.
Dad's pissed.
Last weekend.
Oh no. Breathe.
When did sidewalks become an area where there's not an understanding of how
Dude,
the world
it's
works?
The Wild West out there.
So I'm not gonna call out any particular place or
Location.
Marquette, Michigan.
Oh.
But we're walking down the street. And it's a wide sidewalk.
Yeah.
The social contract that everybody does understand, especially if you're an adult, not if you're a 2-year-old, I get it. But you stay on the right side and you walk down the street. And if you're in a group, if you approach
squint
another group,
yourselves.
you kind of adjust so that you give kind of roughly the same amount of
50%
space
of the sidewalk.
on the sidewalk.
Yeah. Oh no.
Colby and I were walking to a restaurant and he saw this couple approaching us and he very astutely just kind of
Such a kind
tucked
and thoughtful
right
little boy.
behind me, and I'm on the probably the right quarter
Oh,
of the
boy.
sidewalk,
And it's just a couple.
and it's just two people,
Wow.
two old miserable.
Oh, they're
pieces.
old.
Mm.
That's different. It is.
And the guy is in this. I wanted to just knock him down and take his jacket.
Oh, he got a cool jacket?
He had a cool jacket.
Was it Technicolor?
No, it was a blue, like quilted, big shoulder pad kind of jacket.
Yeah.
But he was like 75 years old. And I'm like, I don't know who you are or what you're doing. I think you might be a time traveler.
But I
Back
want
to
your
last
coat.
episode. Maybe he's a time traveler. But he did not want to move. And he was all the way
On
all the
your
way
side.
into my space.
What'd
And
you do? You bonked him? Good for you.
yeah,
Good for you.
he didn't turn. I turned around. I was like,
To give him
let's
a
talk
stink
about
eye,
it.
yeah.
Let's talk about it. Because I wanted to talk about the social contract of the mother effing sidewalk.
Turn around so I can yell at you.
Like, this is not okay that you just ran into me.
Okay. To piggyback off of that, Popcorn Rebecca,
You should talk
that used to happen to me all the time because, not to pull the gender card, but as a woman, if you don't get the fuck out of the way, people will run into you. And what I started doing was not getting out of the way and seeing
Yeah, just
who would run
blast 'em.
into me.
Just blast them.
Because I got some shoulders to ram into people's guts.
Mm-hmm.
And I ran into a lot of men.
Good.
But now I have like the look down so that people know to
Yeah.
move or I will run into them. So it doesn't happen anymore. But that's a good social contract that I didn't even think of. Sidewalks.
But it's a very simple one.
Yeah.
Why are we so bad at it?
Walking, I feel we should have gotten down at this point.
Like, I'm driving down the road, and most of the time, people don't come over into my lane and just smash my car.
Yeah.
Why is it on a sidewalk you can just go, woo?
Willy-nilly.
If you're a middle schooler, I get it.
No,
You're
that's worse. If it's a
you're-
middle schooler, I'm even more angry.
No, I understand why it's happening. I don't approve of it.
Okay, fair.
I understand why it's happening, and and that's where I'll lean into it.
Oh, to teach them
And
a
just-
lesson. But 75-ish. Old people.
Yeah. I think they might have been coming from the same restaurant we were going to, and they might have been a little,
Oh,
but
gotcha. Even better than if you could knock him over.
I wish I could have
I
knocked
wish
him
you could have
over.
knocked him over.
Could have gotten his jacket. Would have been
Yeah.
badass. It was a
You
badass
could have
jacket.
a cool jacket right
I've
now.
never seen a jacket
What
like
could have
that.
been?
Colby even liked the jacket.
Wow. Must have been. It was a cool jacket.
I guess.
Wow.
All right. Anyway, I'm sorry to have vented like
That's
that.
okay. It really seemed like
I mean,
you needed to get it off your chest.
I did. I mean, I feel like venting about stuff like that is part of our social contract too.
That we vent to each other?
Yeah, we can just talk about stuff and.
I think that's called conversation.
No, I know, but it's always like, you know, how like people have these conversations, like
Oh.
you're just sitting and drinking and
Yes.
something like that, and then you just everybody is like, let's talk about something that we'll both agree is
Sucks.
awful. Those people are awful.
Also, it's like the you know those friends that you know if you start complaining about
I don't have
something.
friends.
Okay, let me explain to you what it's like to have friends.
Okay.
That you start a conversation where you know, like, all right, we're all just gonna complain and nobody's gonna try to solve anybody else's issues. We're all just gonna say, yeah, that sucks. That's ass. You're right. That's bad. I'm sorry that happened to you.
That sounds like AA.
Kind of. Actually, yeah, it is kind of like AA, except there's a lot of alcohol instead instead of
Except
not.
we're drinking
So
about
we're
it while we do
drinking
it.
while it's happening.
Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry if we're triggering anybody who's dealing with addiction
So
issues.
sorry, that sounds really hard,
It's
and
awful.
I'm really sorry.
Awful way of
And-
describing it.
I hope you're okay.
Can I vent a little bit more about
Yes.
that same?
Go ahead, keep talking about sidewalks and this old
No,
bitch.
not that side. That we
Oh.
so we got to the restaurant we were going to that I think that these people came from, and we walked in. It's Marquette, Michigan, which is a small town. If you're not familiar with Marquette, Michigan,
It's so cute.
it's
though.
a beautiful
It's
town.
really
It's a
pretty.
wonderful place. Please go visit,
It's
but
right on Lake
don't because they don't
Superior.
want you to visit. I don't know. It's very confusing.
Don't visit, but admire it from afar.
It was graduation weekend, and so it was busy.
Mhm.
So this nice restaurant we went to was busy, and we were just trying to go sit at the bar and have
It
dinner.
was Elizabeth.
We don't have an Elizabeth's sponsorship, so let's
Not
not call out
yet.
Elizabeth.
Okay.
But we just did 3 times. And I walked up to the host stand and I said, "It doesn't look like there are any bar spots available. We're just a walk-in. It's just 2 of us. We'd like to have dinner. Do you have any sense of when any spots are going to open up, and
People might skip.
or if any of them are going to be available without a reservation too, because sometimes they reserve them." And the gentleman said, we don't have any available right now, but there are a couple ladies here who appear to be finishing up. And if you want to hang out
Like mosey
in the
around them.
vicinity,
Yeah.
then
Maybe a
you
little
know.
bit of peer pressure.
So we stepped back and we tried not to,
Pressure them.
they have every right to
Yeah,
have their experience
absolutely.
as well. And I understand that. They sat there over their coffee and 1 dessert for 45 minutes
Oh boy.
in a packed restaurant on a Friday night. And I think that the number of shits they gave was 0 shits.
Yeah. Okay, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
How old were they?
Oh, they were about my age.
Yeah. That makes sense to me.
And it was to the point where, and I'm going to try to visually show this too, but you know how when you're sitting at the bar and people are like this
Yeah.
at
Like
the bar,
cross looking at each
and
other.
you're basically taking up 3 spots for 2 people
Yeah, we love that. We
in
do
the
that.
middle of the peak time.
Packed
And
bar,
um,
nice restaurant.
these folks in Marquette, Michigan haven't made money for 6 months because it's been winter.
Yeah.
And it's the busiest weekend that they've seen so far. And you're just eating,
No, it's all about that.
you're taking a bite of cake every 10 minutes and sipping your coffee every 10 minutes. And so we waited 45 minutes
to sit at the bar.
to sit at the bar. And we only got a seat at the bar, not because the 2 bitches left,
Okay.
but because a couple at the other end of the bar came up and said, "Are you guys looking for seats at the bar?" And we're like,
Oh.
"Yep." And they were like, "Oh, we're just wrapping up. Come on over here." And registered the
That
social
these-
contract of this isn't right.
Yeah, they registered that there was a contract that other people weren't following, and they honestly, I would say, broke their end of the contract in a good way. Because I
They
would never
did,
walk up
yes.
to somebody and be like,
No,
I'm about to be done. You can sit in my spot next. Like it's just
well,
like
they were wrapping up and they registered it, and I think it was
that's
very kind.
amazing. Wow.
And I
Can
wanna be
ask
clear.
Another question?
But
How old were they?
younger.
Yeah.
Okay, you want a freaking badge?
No, I'm just saying it's I
Be
think
careful.
that younger people closer to my age, are more aware of social contracts now. Like, are more, for good or for bad, more ready to notice and act on them than people in your generation, maybe.
Wow. Okay. I think that people in my generation would say that that's 100% untrue.
Maybe it's just like a dang the youth and dang the old people.
Yeah.
You know, of every generation.
I mean, I was just trying to get it off my chest and shot at clouds. But I also think it's important to point out, like, in that dynamic, at no point did the restaurant do anything wrong, right?
No.
Like, their job is to make sure everybody has a great time.
Yeah.
And those two ladies, once they stake their claim, even if they start to grow freaking roots into the ground, you want them to have a good time, and you can't go up to them and go, it's time to go, ladies.
Hang on, because I have an example of a time when a restaurant did break that end of the contract.
Yeah?
Because, you know, you go to a restaurant. This happened to me and Chase very early on in our relationship. We went to a pretty nice restaurant in Detroit. They didn't ask us to leave, but we went to a pretty nice restaurant in Detroit, and we went up to the host stand, and Chase was like, do you have a spot for 2 people? Oh, we have a cat.
We have a 3-legged cat.
Hi, and now he's here in your podcast.
My goodness. Here he is.
Wow, big boy.
Say hi.
Oh, God.
Look how cute I am.
Okay, so we went up to the host stand, and Chase was like, do you have a spot for 2? It was like right after they opened. So we were hoping we would be able to get into that reservations, right? And the host goes, yeah, we have some spots, but we need you out in an hour. And we were like,
okay,
what?
that's
and he goes,
weird.
Out in an hour. We're like, okay. And he walked us to our table. Again, very early on in our dating history. We kind of were still getting to know each other. So we were both like uncomfortable, but didn't say it to each other. And he seats us in.
Now we are speed dating.
He seats us he seats us at a table, and then he puts the things down and he goes, I just wanted to remind you that we do need you to be gone in an hour. And we were
oh
like,
my God.
Got it, dude. Like, oh my God. If you could have just said, no, I'm so sorry, we're all booked up, and we would have left and gone somewhere else. I've never had anybody speak to me that way in a restaurant. It was really weird. Yeah. So that's another example.
So you guys probably were just like, okay, we'll be done in an hour.
Yeah, and we were.
And then you were done in an hour. And I would have been like, sounds like you need to be better at your job.
You just sit there for 45 minutes drinking a cup of coffee and eating half of the dessert.
Okay, so
those are some smaller contracts.
Yeah, but I feel like I have to then pivot. Go ahead, Patrick, you're fine.
Good. Okay. Colby came in here and opened a beer.
Yeah, we're fine. I feel like we have to wrap that all up with the discussion that, like, any kind of social contract these days, especially around hospitality, we have to talk about tipping culture.
Oh, we do.
Right?
We do.
Right?
I immediate rage within my body, by the way, when you said that. Like,
so I am so conflicted about this now.
I'm also pretty conflicted.
Because I know that we are hated around the world for the fact that we tip to like provide a living.
To make up for a bad hourly wage. Right. Yeah.
But I love tipping. I love the idea that I am allocating a specific amount of money to the person that I just interacted with.
To the exact person, not the company as a whole.
Like,
that's a
I don't
really
want
good
higher.
point.
I don't want higher prices. I want to tip, and I also enjoy being, like sprinkle joy around the world.
Like I'll go into restaurants that you frequent a lot, and people will look at my ID and be like, "Are you Scott's daughter?" And I'm like, "Yeah," and they're like, "I love Scott." Like, everybody in restaurants in Grand Rapids knows you and loves you.
Oh, well, I mean, that's lovely, but
it's true.
That's not why I do that. I like to, yeah. Oh, you're right. Back to the last thing. I don't really have friends. I just buy my friends by tipping heavily.
Yeah. Well, okay.
But at some point,
Hang on, because I went to get my oil changed about a month ago.
did they ask for a tip?
Sure did. They handed me the iPad with the 20%, 15% thing.
For an
And I
oil
was
change?
like, look, you guys were really nice, but I don't need to tip you for doing the definition of your job. All you do here is oil changes. It's a Valvoline.
Well,
Instant oil change
all
station.
Starbucks does is make coffee. Why do we tip them? Because they get paid $2 an hour.
Actually, they don't.
They don't.
They get paid
better.
really well.
Yeah, why am I tipping at
Why
Starbucks?
are we tipping at Starbucks?
Cool. Wait. Got to take a note.
Yeah, take a note. Don't tip at Starbucks anymore. Because if you don't tip at Starbucks, they spit in your drink. It's really the answer. They're really mean there. I'm scared of them.
Oh gosh. Right. But when does so definitely at the thank you, Patrick.
Write that down. Write that down.
All right. No Starbucks tips.
There we go.
So you think the oil change tip
That's
request
too far.
yeah, it's that you've broken the social
That's
contract.
insane. I'm not tipping the person that changed my
Well,
oil. They
also
were really
you had
nice,
the
but-
experience of changing your oil and going, holy shit, this is expensive. But
Yeah.
it takes a long time to get it from Saudi Arabia.
They kept asking me, they were like, looks like you're due for this and this and this and this. You want us to take care of that for you today? And I was like, no, I'm good. Just the thing I came in for. They were like, your wiper fluid's so low. You want us to take care of that? It's like, no, I can do that. Believe it or not, myself. I know where the thingy is. I can do it.
The thingy. Yeah.
It's the thingy. You open the big thingy and then you open the smaller thingy and then you put the thingy in the other thingy.
And the blue stuff goes
And the
in.
blue stuff goes in. And then when you press that other button later on, water comes out. Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes.
It's
If
pretty
the
magic.
motor works.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I do think tipping culture though has gotten a little bit
I think my
out of control.
my favorite version of tipping culture going absolutely off the rails is this story. I haven't had this, but it's a great
Okay.
story. Of a guy who's at an airport kiosk, self-service kiosk,
No.
where he got his little snacks and walked up and was just gonna swipe, scan and swipe, and it said, "Would you like?"
Who am
to
I
tip?"
tipping? The robot?
And he got so mad.
That's fair. Who are we tipping? There was no human involved except for me.
Yep. And
Yeah,
it
that's
gets
crazy.
it gets back to like the memes about the self-checkout stuff. Like
Going on.
people deciding that they're going to
I-
strike.
I saw a video that was a guy in like an army uniform walking by, and the guy was like, "Thank you for your service." And he goes, "Oh, no problem. It's just gonna ask you a question."
How on a scale of 10% to 60%, how
much-
satisfied
How
are
much
you
do you thank me
with
for
my service? Yeah.
The problem is, it's funny because it's not that far off.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
The comedy comes from being too close.
It's like, that's really real. Oh, yeah,
Speaking of,
too real. Oh.
hey, are you going to expect a tip for this?
I was just gonna ask you a quick question.
0%.
I deserve it. All right, I think we should transition into our more serious talk here.
Okay.
I know.
I don't even understand why this is on your mind. Like, what do you... All right, what do you want to talk about, Rebecca?
Well, the reason that originally this topic was in our list,
it wasn't social contract.
it wasn't social contracts,
Right.
it was the sick contract, which I think it was Maggie that told us about that, which is like a sick person and a healthy person in their life enter into a contract when the sick person becomes sick.
Yep.
Which is that the sick person doesn't have to do as much labor because the healthy person will pick up their slack.
Right.
But the healthy person expects that the sick one will eventually get better and start picking up that slack again. And the problem happens when the sick person never gets better and the healthy person gets frustrated because they thought the unspoken promise was that they would.
And then the healthy person becomes a more and more terrible person over the course of time, because this isn't what I signed up for.
Right. And the reason I really wanted to talk about this was because I feel like I've played both roles as the healthy person for a sick person who will never get better, and also the sick person who probably will never really get better. And it's interesting because I have a lot of sympathy for the healthy person. It's like you go into it with a lot of good intentions, but after a while you do get burnt out. It's like, I can't keep taking care of myself and you when you don't show any signs of trying to take care of yourself. It can't be only on me.
Right.
You know? But then also, as the sick person, I feel like a lot of the time I will disclose the fact that I'm a sick person, and other people will be like jumping to help. And I'm like, well, I don't need you to do anything. I just wanted you to know the context.
Right.
But they keep shoving the help down until they get burnt out by that, and then they blame me for it. And it's like, well, I never asked for this.
Right.
I was fine. Now you're like resentful of me.
There's so many layers to this that can wind up stressing the normal human interactions and normal relationships. And I think that surface level that you said of saying, like, you enter into this contract where, hey, someone needs something. And so you say, oh yeah, I'm going to help. And you have the expectation that I'm not signing up forever.
Endless help. Yeah.
Which that's fair.
It's fair.
Yeah. I don't think, but at the same time, sometimes people like you who have chronic conditions don't want to sign up for that, because that's not what you like. It's not just not what you want. It's you don't want to set up that contract with other people.
Right. Because the thing is, I will share that part of my life with people when I'm like, you're like an awesome person. I'd really like to get to know you better. I'd like you to be an important person in my life. So I want to share with you this really important part of my life that I deal with every day that gives you more context into who I am as a person. But if you immediately step into, oh, I have to take care of you. It's like, that's not the relationship I want with you. I want us to be friends, equals. I don't need you to be like, oh, I have to take care of her. It's like, no. It's just information that I'm sharing.
Right, exactly.
Not a job I'm giving.
I'm letting you inside the bubble to understand more about me. And I think I'm gonna propose this and see what you have to say about it. But I feel like somebody who does have a chronic issue, they want to have the opportunity to not be defined by that thing all the time. And so they don't want every relationship to then to be taken over by this thing that you're dealing with all the time anyway.
Yes, the worst thing is when it's like there's not an hour that goes by where I'm not reminded that this is something that is happening to me. So when I can also see that other people are thinking about it all the time and reminding me of it all the time, it's like, I know that. We don't have to talk about it. You're just bringing me down, you know?
Right.
I hang out with you to not think about that, you know?
Exactly. And and I think it's one of the things, like, with all good intentions, people try to overmanage that social contract, and then
both parties end up being resentful of each other. Yeah, it's not a good. Oh my gosh, the cat's back.
Oh my gosh, the cat's about to.
He's gonna knock everything over. He only has 3 legs. You gotta brush. Hi, baby.
Brush him.
Yeah, but that specifically has been on my mind because what day is it? It's Friday.
It's Friday.
in 3 days, I finally get a surgery that I've been working towards for a long time. Finally got approved for it, and it's finally happening. And fingers crossed that it will first be the solution to the problem it intends to treat.
Mm-hmm.
Who can say whether it will? And second,
You better.
maybe, well, yeah, it better. But that's what they said about the other surgery I had, you know? So I feel like this has a better chance of it.
I would say.
But also, second, like, maybe reduce general inflammation and pain in the entire body, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I won't have to be always the sick one, which I'd love. I would love that.
Well, so yeah, no, I get that. I don't think that you come across as always the sick one.
Thank
so
you.
know.
I try not to.
I think most people in your life consider you a pretty strong kind of badass woman. So.
Oh, thank you. It's fun though, because there are like, it's really fun when you find those people that are able to like.
Don't give him my cookies.
Oh,
Let him sniff.
is he gonna
He's
eat
curious.
cookies?
He's not gonna eat cookies. He just wanted to smell it.
Let him
Makes
sniff
sense.
it.
I want.
He likes sniffing people's
Give Dad a
breath
cookie.
after they.
I would like a
a
cookie.
meal.
I would like a cookie now.
What a weirdo.
Thank you.
Aw,
Indulge me.
show the camera. It's gone.
Uh-uh.
All right. But it's fun when I meet people who understand just immediately the balance that needs to be found
Mhm.
between like acknowledgement that things will be harder for me, but also acting like it's normal. Like,
Yeah.
it's okay. There was this new group of friends. They noticed that I was in a lot of pain, and all they did was like, one of them was like, "Are you in pain?" I was like, "Yeah, always." And the other one was like, "You want to hit my pen?" I was like, "Yeah, I do. Thank you." And that was it. And we moved on. Like,
And that's one of the biggest issues right now is you can't
Can't
hit that
stop,
pen,
no.
girl. You can't hit any of it.
I can't have the regular pain medication that I take. It's been a rough week, I'll be honest. I cried earlier with chicken in my mouth. It was a low moment.
I feel like modern medicine should be able to
Should be able to,
solve for this.
Well, you'd think, but apparently ibuprofen will make me bleed out, I guess. They have no way to handle that. They can't figure it out. I don't know.
I think it's more that, number one, they don't trust you to be honest with whatever you're doing to your body. So they just say, nothing for a week. And number two, they're all deathly afraid of being sued.
Yeah, that's true. That's why it took so long.
My Yelp reviews are going to go down for my surgeries.
Oh my
I don't know,
gosh.
something like that.
Are there Yelp
Are there
reviews
Yelp?
for
I
surgery?
don't know. I just made that up.
I should look that up.
I mean, it's not
bet
even.
there's- No, I bet there's
prob-
like ratemysurgeon.com.
Definitely
like, rate my professor.
not Yelp reviews of surgeons.
I think there's got to be a Rate My Surgeon. Right?
Rate My Surgeon probably exists, but
Maggie says
There are Yelp reviews for surgeons.
there are Yelp
Oh
reviews
my
for
goodness.
surgeons. Cool. I'm gonna look up my surgeon. I should probably know now. I mean, it's in 2 days.
you should. I mean, you're not going to change it now.
No, but I'll go into it knowing I might die.
There's also another platform specifically for medical ratings called
Right.
Health Grades.
Health grades.
They
Right.
got a Yelp.
Yup.
Yeah.
No, the answer is you're only going to see negative reviews on those places.
Yeah. Well, or you'll only see positive reviews because the ones that
They're
would be
paid.
negative reviews are dead.
Yeah. No.
Oh,
Oh.
Ouch.
I'll be fine.
That's
so you're either a
dark.
statistic or another statistic.
Or dead. Yeah. Yikes.
Oh my gosh, he's going to fall off the table.
He's so cute. Oh.
He's
Oh.
So what do you think the ideal form of the sick contract is?
Well, I think it's tough because with stuff, I think the sick contract as it is for things that are impermanent.
Yeah, that's a good word.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I watched you
Yeah, I really searched
go
for
all
it.
the way down that big long staircase.
This happened
and,
last
like,
time with.
pull it out.
What was I trying
bring
to
it
say?
back up.
Last episode, I struggled with it for like.
Yeah,
Investigative?
Investigative.
Investigative.
that was it. Yeah.
Investigative.
Investigative.
Investigative, but I kept trying to say investigative. For situations where it's like, okay,
Impermanent was a good one, though.
thank you. I have a cold. Can you please come bring me soup? It's like, that's fine. One person's sick, the
That's
other person's
easy. I'm
healthy.
not signing
you
up
know,
for like a lifetime
whatever.
of.
For situations like mine, where my pain is unending and constant, it's like, no matter what you do, you're not gonna fix what's happening, you know? And as much as you might think trying to fix it is being supportive, it just comes across as, I don't like this version of you, so I'm gonna keep trying to fix that until I get to the healthy version of you, and then I'll like you.
Right.
And when you're the sick one and you're like, well, there is no healthy version of me. This is how I am. It just is like a rejection over and over and over again. You know, that's how it feels. But I think the healthy medium is when something like my chronic pain condition is shared, not reading it as the contract that you're signing. It's not I don't want you to agree to anything. I'm not telling you this to manipulate you into doing something.
Right.
Or I'm not doing this with any expectation that you do something back. I'm just, it's like telling you about my childhood, you know?
Yeah.
You can't do anything to go back and fix maybe what happened.
But if you want to know the whole me, this is
But
the
I'm
whole
adding
me.
a puzzle piece to my puzzle of me, you know? Because I want you to know me. That's why it's a little difficult. Because both sides are acting out of, I think, care for the other person.
Sure, right.
It just gets lost in translation.
I think it's interesting. It's a, hey,
He would.
this is a guy who's
Big boy.
has lived through the sick contract.
He's disabled.
Ready?
He only has one leg.
Oh my goodness! Look at that
Well, one
little
back leg.
stump. He's so cute.
Oh, he just let it happen.
He's so cute.
He covers
didn't
himself.
like it though. His face
No, he didn't
was-
like it.
Poor baby.
He's too big to be carried like that.
He's really quite huge.
He's a good boy though.
He's a baby foot.
Anyway. Yeah, I think it's interesting the idea that, you know, the sick. I mean, you're basically saying that you're rejecting the idea of a sick contract, at least for chronic
this situation,
sort of
yeah.
situations. I
And
think that's
for me specifically.
and I like that because I think that there are so many people who go through life with chronic conditions, and it could be a chronic condition. It could be a progressive condition.
Yeah,
that
like
it gets worse and
cancer
worse.
or
And
something.
the idea that they don't get to have authentic human relationships other than within this weird contract of I'm taking care of you
Yes.
it minimizes their humanity
Yes,
in
it's
such a way that
dehumanizing and it's infantilizing.
yes. And so I love the idea of like saying, you know, this is who I am, and I mean, like, I hope I don't have this all the time for the rest of my life,
Fingers
but
crossed.
this is who I am right now.
Yeah.
And let's make sure that the relationship we establish doesn't
Doesn't have a
center
hierarchy
around
or
that.
center. Yeah, like the things that I like. Okay, here's a good example. I really love and appreciate when people do little things for me, like little acts of service. But the most important distinction is that it's being done because they know I would appreciate it, not because they think I couldn't do it.
Oh, right. Yeah,
know?
for sure. Right.
It's like, I know you could do this on your own and you'd be fine on your own, but I know that you would like it and I love you, so I'm going to do it for you.
I like that. By the way, this is supposed to be a leg right here.
It's just supposed to be a
It's
leg, but
supposed
it's
to be a
just
leg.
nothing
It's just
at
gone.
all. It's just jumping bones.
They
He's
just went in there and went.
blissed out right now.
He's fine. He's chilling.
Go on, dude.
What a good baby, and he's got a big belly.
He's
too.
so happy to get attention.
Fred, what do you think? Nothing.
He has no opinion of anything other than yes.
He doesn't
Pat.
even know he had a leg there.
He forgot that it was there.
Every once in a while,
He tries to itch his ear with it sometimes. It's
It makes
really
me a little
pathetic.
Quite sad.
It just twitches a little bit.
my brother, it doesn't work anymore.
It does not work. You got nothing there. Well,
All right, have we solved?
I think we've solved
Have we
everything.
solved our problem about social contracts?
I think so.
Oh,
Hi.
we've got another brother.
And my computer's about to die too.
Okay, well, we got to wrap up.
We gotta wrap up here.
Okay,
There's a
but
lot
we
going on.
also have to figure out what we're doing next episode.
Oh my gosh. Well,
Oh my gosh.
we don't even know when we're recording the next one.
Well, yeah, there might be a little bit of a gap.
There might be a little bit of a gap. There might be a guest.
It might be a guest.
Another guest.
I think we have 2 guests lined up at this
Yeah.
point.
I think you know what we should do? If you want to know our next topic, follow the Instagram.
Ooh,
It will be announced
you're
there.
Such a tease.
It will be announced there, and our book list will be posted.
This is the social
also.
contract of social
Of
media.
follow us, please. Again, I'm the one that's running it, so it probably won't be very active, but I do check it a lot. So if you want to send me a little message there, I will read it and I'll respond.
So we will reveal our topic
In due time.
and guest on social media
On the Instagram. So follow us there.
when it is determined.
Yeah. Oh, again, it's The Shallow End Crew on Instagram. The Shallow End Crew. Yeah.
And thanks for following, Kathleen.
Thanks for following, Kathleen. Love you, Kathleen. Also Miles, also Nick, also Dad. Yay! All right. Thanks
All
for
right,
joining us.
We love you all.
We love you guys. Smooches, kisses, love.
Bye-bye.
Love you guys. Bye.